In this tutorial, I'm going to show you the classic vocal effect double tracking. First of all, I'll explain the theory and then show you a more traditional approach to creating this effect. But then I'm going to take things in a different direction and show you a more creative way you could almost interpret double tracking and do something interesting with it. But first of all, let me explain the theory. Double tracking is when you take two versions of a vocal, two different performances. You put one take on the left speaker and one take on the right speaker. Because each performance is similar, it will sound like the same sound source, at least roughly like the same sound source. But because there will always be some differences between each take, the left speaker will sound different to the right, and therefore our brains will perceive it to be a wide sound, a wide vocal, instead of a single vocal in the center. And an extreme example of this might be in some bits of hip hop and rap, where each vocal performance will be so different from each other, it will definitely sound like two different sound sources, but it still sounds cool, and it's an effect called double tracking. And so how might you do this, or at least take inspiration from this for a single vocal you may have, a single mono vocal, such as this one.
Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper.
Now, if I wanted to emulate this effect in a traditional way, I could do something like Stereo Savage. I could turn on the Vox effect. And what that does is create differences in time and pitch on the left speaker versus the right, or the left channel versus the right, giving you the same sort of result as double tracking, where a vocalist, every time they perform, will have a slightly different pitch and a slightly different timing for what they're performing. I'll set timing to be 90%, like so, and the detune about 35 or so. As you can probably guess, the timing parameter determines how loose or how much of a difference in timing there is on the left speaker versus the right, and the detune determining the pitch differences between the left speaker and the right. As good as this plugin may be, I don't find that all timings and all detunes give good results, but because I've used it for a while now, I know that this will be a good place to start, or at least I'm confident this will work.
Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper.
See how the vocal now sounds double tracked? It now sounds like there are almost two different performances of the vocal, one on the left side, one on the right.
Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper.
Versus the original.
Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper.
If you listened on headphones or great monitors and you were also listening incredibly carefully, you may have noticed a few little glitches there. And like many plugins, it's just a little quirk that sometimes happens. Whenever you use it, you might have to record that bit of vocal 7 or 8 times to make sure one of those times has no glitches in at all. There's no predicting it. If I let this loop through for maybe 8 times, there might be 4 or 5 glitches, something like that. Not too many, but just a consideration. But that is the general spirit of double tracking, taking two performances of the same vocal, putting one on the left and one on the right. And therefore, how might you get creative with this concept if you don't have Stereo Savage? What you could do, just delete Stereo Savage. You could duplicate your vocal, one on the left, just call that left and right. Make sure you actually pan the vocal to the left and the right, so I'll pan this to the left and this R channel to the right.
Hyper with the lighter, no fossil fighter, get hyper.
Then conceptually, all I need to do is different processing on the left channel to the right channel. Now, the world really is your oyster as to what sort of processing you could do in this situation. The key to standing out here is really thinking outside the box. Yes, you can maybe pitch the left side up a bit and pitch the right side down. That might be a more normal thing to do. But what if you did something like apply a different distortion on the left to the right, or a different bit crusher, or phaser, whatever it is, any effect you have, any bit of processing, just try vary it on the left speaker to the right and see what happens. It can be definitely quite hit and miss, but let me give you a pretty cool example. What I'm basically doing here is distorting the left channel differently to the right, and there should be a good combination of presets that provide a wide sound, more interesting than a simple distorted sound in the center.
Hyper with the lighter, no fuss or fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fuss or fighter, get hyper.
For reference, the left channel.
Hyper with the lighter, no fuss or fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fuss or fighter, get hyper.
And the right channel.
Hyper with the lighter, no fuss or fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fuss or fighter, get hyper.
And together.
Hyper with the lighter, no fuss or fighter, get hyper. Hyper with the lighter, no fuss or fighter, get hyper.
And there you have it. As I say, do get creative here. Yes, you can always take a more traditional approach to double tracking, or you can think outside the box and do something weird and wonderful, like, well, anything really. Any effects, any bits of processing, any plugin should be possible. Thanks for watching.